Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. We're doing daily double Misakas Challah Perek Gimel Mishnah Zayin and Ches. Mishnah Zayin says Osi Isa min Achitim min Orez. Right, we learned Challah is only chayeves in five species of grain. He makes a bread, with rice and flour, right? Wheat flour, and together they have the shear of 5/4 of a kav, right? But the chitim itself is not by itself 4 5/4 of a kav. Mishba tam dagan. So the halacha depends whether it tastes like wheat bread or not. Chayev is b'chalav. If it tastes like wheat bread, you're chayev to remove chalav. You could also be yosef on Pesach. Technically, even if you ate a kazayas, that sounds like from our Mishnah, you ate a kazayas of that. And the kazayas was partially 75% wheat and 25% rice. You're still yosef, even though matzah has to also be eaten from the 5 species, and rice is not one of those 5 species. It doesn't taste like bread. It's not considered bread. There's no chiyuv challah, and can't be yosef mitzvah of matzah. We'll talk more. How could it be if it's not the proper amount of flour? How could it be yosef matzah, and how can the kazayas matzah? How could it be chayav and challah? It lacks the requisite amount for the shear. We'll talk more about it in Ian Mitzion to explain this Mishnah. Mishnah Chesanoto Sor Meisa Shlohomer Mechalasa. When you make a bread, you don't just add regular wheat to eat the wheat. You also add sourdough, so sor to help it rise, the bread rise. So you remove that. You didn't take off chal. You had a shear that's chayav and chal. You needed it with the sor. And sor is mitzvah. If we said it combines with the actual regular wheat and the regular wheat or barley. He removes it after it was chayav and challah, but he didn't take off challah. And he put it in another dough. He wanted the other dough to rise. And that dough was also the shear, but he took off challah. Meaning if he has other, what does he say over here? If he has extra spare flour, spare dough, he joins it together with the sor. So combined with the sor, now you could have 5/4, and you could take off challah. Mostly lefi cheshbon. So then you would take it out based on 1/24 of where it came from, right? Where it was really needed. It's 1/24. It was a big loaf. It's 1/24 from that. Even though now you only have a small amount, only 5/4 of a cup. If you can't combine with something else, mostly challah achas al kol. Then this sor, right? It became chayiv and challah. So then you have to take off 1/24 based on you take off from the sor that you removed. You take off from the sor then the requisite amount to pater the original isa, the original dough, because you took it off something that's chayiv and challah. The chiyuv remained on that, and now if you don't have anything else to combine it with, you have to remove maybe the whole thing or at least a good portion of it in order to pater the original isa, the original dough that it came from. Stay tuned for Ian Mitzion. We'll talk more about Mishnah Zayin. Seemingly a strange halacha. If there's a shear, you're normally a shear for something. It means you have to have that amount. Who cares that it has the taste of dagon of wheat? If it doesn't have the shear of challah, of kemach, of wheat flour, it shouldn't be chayiv and challah. And you shouldn't be yotzei the mitzvah of matzah on the first night of Pesach. We'll talk more about that in Ian Mitzion coming up next.